train your Gavin. Read those books in a blink, oh yeah. Grab yourself a hot drink cause you're watching How to Train Your Gavin. Yep, that's me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. Today I'm going through all the books that I hauled in November. I haven't actually bought a lot of books. I literally, the piles where I bought them, there's not really that many there. Most of the books that I got in November were sent to me, mostly from publishers. I have some books. I don't know how to say that. Books to show in this video as well, in case you missed any of my unboxings, and some that were gifted to me from dear friends and beautiful subscribers. So thank you so much to everybody who sent me anything. I don't think there's actually that much on this list because I've actually talked about quite a few of them on my channel beforehand. I've read some of these as well, so that's not too bad, not too shabby. Now I do separate my books into the ones that were gifted, then the ones that were gifted from publishers, then the books, and then I go into my bought middle grade, and then my bought young adult and adult. The first 4 books that were gifted to me were from the lovely Jean from Jean Bookish Thoughts. We did a book haul swap, a mystery book haul swap, and we both did an unboxing video of the books that Jean sent me and the books that I sent Jean. So I will link those videos down below if you want to check them out. I do unbox these books and talk about them a little bit more, but one of the books that Jean sent me was The Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place, The Mysterious Howling by May Rose Wood. From what I can tell about this is that the incorrigible children are sort of savage, or I think they've kind of been raised by wolves, and Penelope, the mysterious governess, she takes them in. There are several mysteries going on. I believe there is a strange coachman who lurks around every corner, and it seems really good. It's perfect for fans of Lemony Snicket, I think, for the whole mystery kind of vibes. Jean also sent me The Way Free Man by Terry Pratchett, but this is the first book in the Tiffany Aching series, and Tiffany is a witch and some nightmares take her brother and she goes to save him. Extremely excited to read this. This is one of Jean's favourites, and this will also be my first ever Terry Pratchett book, so I'm really excited to see what his writing style is like if I decide to continue his, very extensive bibliography. Yeah, this might be the start of something new. The third book Jean sent me was Beyond Platform 13 by Chevelle Pounder and Eva Botson. Eva Botson is the original writer of the world that Chevelle Pounder has wrote about in this, because Eva passed away quite some while ago, so this is a bit of a continuation from her world. I've never read the other book, which is called The Secret of Platform 13. I believe this one is about an island which is surrounded by a protective mist as a sort of barrier, but then it starts disappearing and there's like a mystery as to why. And there is a 9-year-old girl looking for an adventure, and I believe she finds it. The last book that Jean sent me was Bloom by Nicholas Skinner, which I think was one of Jean's favourite reads from 2019. And this one follows a young girl called Sorrel, and she discovers this packet of seeds, and I believe she plants them and it starts blooming everywhere, and it's just like a really strange, it is a strange, terrifying and ultimately marvelous kind of thing to happen. So I'm really excited and intrigued by this one. It sounds like nothing I've ever read before, so thank you so much Jean for sending me those 4 books. I genuinely appreciate it. I had so much fun swapping book hauls with you. We must do it again, because honestly Jean picked some great ones for me. And I feel like I picked some great ones for Jean too, so do check out that video. The incredible Amy Joyce was very kind enough to send me 3 middle grade graphic novels, and I believe she'd watched a video of mine where I said I really wanted to start reading middle grade graphic novels, because I haven't really read any of them, to be fair. So she sent me 3 very exciting graphic novels for middle grade. The first one she sent me is El Defo by Cece Bell, and this one follows a young girl who is deaf, and she has a hearing aid, and she is able to hear teachers from all around the school with it, so it kind of gives her like this superpower, and she feels really different, and I think this is going to be a journey of her kind of realising just how powerful she is, and I can't wait to read it. It sounds so great. The next book that Amy sent me was The Witch Boy by Mollie Knox Ostertag, and this one follows a boy it's set in a world where boys become shapeshifters and girls become witches, but our main protagonist, he doesn't want to be a shapeshifter, he can't really do it, So he wants to be a witch, and I think this is going to be fantastic in breaking down the boundaries between, you know, the masculine and the feminine, and just being just a great story about a boy who wants to just follow his dream. I think I'm going to relate to this so much because when I was a kid, not that I could, you know, shapeshift or have witchcraft or anything, but I used to want things that were meant for girls, like Barbie dolls and Barbie houses, and because I was a boy, I wasn't really allowed them, but I just know I'm going to relate to this so much. So this is another great pick by Amy. The last one that Amy sent me was Goosebumps Slappy's Tales of Terror by R.L. Stine, but the artists and writers in this one are Dave Roman, Gabriel Hernandez, Ted Nafer, and Jamie Tolligson. And this one I think has 4 different Goosebumps stories in it, like the original Goosebumps stories. So there's a Shocker on Shock Street, The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, Ghost Beach, and Night of the Living Dummy. So they are 4 classic Goosebumps books, but they are told in a shortened graphic novel format. And I can't wait because I love Goosebumps so much. And each of the artists has a different kind of art style. So yeah, it's just going to be really interesting to see how different they are from each other and how their art style fits the story as well. It's just going to be great. So thank you so much, Amy, for sending me these. You genuinely did not have to. Nobody else get any ideas about sending me stuff. I need to control my TBR like so badly. But thank you so much. And then Tracey, being the naughty Tracey that she is, I ruined the day I gave Tracey my address. She sent me 2 graphic novels as well. She knew as well that how much I wanted to read more middle grade graphic novels. So she sent me The OK Witch by Emma Steenkeller. This one follows a young girl called Moth, and she absolutely loves everything to do with witches. She ends up finding out that her family are like descended from witches, I think, and she starts coming into her own powers. She falls into an enchanted diary and she unlocks a hidden witch world. I love things to do with witches, and I know, like, just from the ones that Amy sent me and from this one and the next one, the creative imagination of these middle grade graphic novels, like, I cannot wait to dive into these. Like, seriously, I'm going to end up doing like a whole week's reading of middle grade graphic novels. I can't wait. I love the premise of it so much. And also Tracey sent me Stargazing by Jen Wang. This also sounds brilliant. This one follows Christine, who is Chinese American, and she ends up becoming best friends with Moon, and she tells him that she has this kind of secret power where she is able to talk to celestial beings from like space, and they're telling her that she doesn't belong on Earth. Apparently tragedy strikes and I don't know what happens, but I'm so intrigued. I cannot wait. Oh, it just looks so good, and I love the art style in this one as well. I just want to read them now. But thank you so much, Tracey, for being naughty. Please do not send me anything else. Genuinely, I need to control my TBR. So I'm going to end up having to move house before you stop sending me stuff, aren't I? So onto the books that were sent to me from publishers. There were a couple that I've already read because I did a read and vlog reading these 2 books along with 2 other books, but I got those in October, I want to say, so I'm not showing those 2 off in this. But one of the books was Me, My Dad and the End of the Rainbow by Benjamin Dean. Oh my god, I loved this book so much. This is a middle grade LGBTQ plus novel of a young boy who his family is kind of split now because his dad has come out as gay, and it's kind of this young boy's story of finding out what that means and how he fits into this new vision of this family. This is just so beautifully written and so hopeful and so prideful, and I just can't wait for this to come out properly in February so you guys can read it. I just think this is going to be one of the most important middle grade novels of 2021 because it just waves that gay pride flag high. Not just gay though, there are a lot of different kinds of representation in this, and I urge you guys to read it. Like, just from this alone, you can see all the different people on the cover of all different walks of life from all different colours, and just, I love it so much. So thank you so much Simon & Schuster for sending me this book, like seriously, and just this proof is just beautiful as well. I keep showing this off, but it has a slipcase and it has this cover on the inside too. Just... And thank you to Puffin for sending me The Hatmakers by Tamsin Merchant. I don't know how many people I contacted about this book, but I just wanted this book so much. This, and also I read this one in that same vlog and gave this one 5 stars too. This one follows the Hatmakers. They're a family of people who make hats, and these hats can have magical properties, so they can make you braver, they can make you more violent. There are different ways that these hats can be used, and they weave enchantments into these hats. But it follows a young girl whose dad ends up going missing in a shipwreck, and she really wants to find him, but things are happening because the King of France is threatening war with with England. It's just, this is very, I want to say Edwardian, but also Jacobean. Like, I don't know how to place it, but it just has those, you know, a little bit historical vibes, but it's just fantasy through and through. It's so magical and so beautiful and so wonderful and amazing, and I just cannot wait for this to come out in January, so make sure you pick this one up as well. One that I haven't yet read, but I got the proof from Puffin as well, and that is Uma and the Answer to Absolutely Everything by Sam Copeland. It's very hard to say this proof because it's extremely reflective, but I hope you can see it all right there. All I know about this one is that it follows Uma, and as you probably guessed it, she knows the answer to absolutely everything, and she wants to use that knowledge to help save her home and her father. It sounds like it's going to be hilarious because Sam Copeland is a very comedic writer, but I think it's also going to be very heartwarming and genuine, so I can't wait to read this one. So again, thank you so much, Puffin, for sending me this one. This one comes out in January as well. One that was actually supposed to come out on my birthday in 2020, but it didn't. It got pushed back to January 2021. But that is Darwin's Dragons by Lindsay Galvin, and this one is... it's the final copy of the book. It's not a proof. The publisher sent me... it has these fold out, and it has like illustrations, and it just looks so incredible. So this one follows a young cabin boy called Sims, and he is on the voyage of a lifetime. Not only that, but he's on the same ship as Charles Darwin. And one day, Sims accidentally falls overboard and ends up on an uncharted island that's never been explored before, and there he makes the discovery of a lifetime, and I'm expecting that discovery to be dragons. So I just love the look of this final cover. Just like, I love a fold out. I love a fold out book. Oh gosh, isn't it just stunned? But yeah, this was supposed to come out on my birthday, and I was gutted it was pushed back. But thank you so much, Chicken House, for sending me this. I really wanted it as soon as it was announced, but yeah, it's been a long time coming. I cannot wait to read this. So the next one was sent to me by HarperCollins, and this is going to be one of the most treasured items in my collection, but it is an exclusive hardcover proof of The Last Bear by Hannah Gold. I mean, again, it's reflective, so it doesn't come through that nicely on the camera, but it is gorgeous. So this, I mean, it must be limited because I haven't seen a lot of people get the hardback version of it. So again, thank you so much for sending me this. Look at that illustration as well. This comes out on the 18th of February, by the way. Pre-order it. It says here that this is set against the stark landscape of the Arctic Circle. Hannah Gold's astonishing debut is a timeless adventure, a battle cry for the environment, and a powerful celebration of the love between a lonely child and a wild animal, bear. Oh my god, like, I think I'm going to cry at this. Oh my gosh, this is one that is, I think, yeah, will tackle environmentalism and climate change, and it's just going to be a beautiful friendship between a girl and a bear. What more do you want? Another thank you to Harper for sending me The Shadow in the Glass by J.J.A. Harwood, and this one is a dark Cinderella retelling, and I know we've had those a few times, but this one is actually about Ella, and at midnight a fairy godmother comes out of one of her books and gives her 7 wishes that she can do with as she pleases. But each wish that the fairy godmother gives her, Ella has to pay a price for it. And this is adult. I think this is an adult book. I don't think this is young adult. I think this is adult. Perfect for fans of Penny Dreadful, apparently, so yeah, I think it's adult. But yeah, this was a lovely surprise as well. It sounds twisted, sounds great, can't wait to read. Thank you, Harper. This one comes out in March 2021, so I'm really hoping I can get to it way before then. Another huge thank you to Harper for sending me Threadneedle by Carrie Thomas. This one comes out in May 2021, and this one is in a world where magic exists, and our main protagonist is called Anna, and her aunt tells her how bad and wicked magic is, so Anna is counting down the days for the ceremony that will bind her magic. However, she ends up meeting somebody called Effie. Effie and Addis. She meets Effie and Addis, and they open her eyes to a London she never knew existed, a shop that sells memories, a secret library where the librarian feeds off words, a club where revelers lose themselves in a haze of spells. But then she's swept deeper and deeper into this world. Things aren't exactly as they appear, and it sounds brilliant again. I really want to read it before it comes out. I just love the look of this so much. So again, thank you, Harper, for sending it. And one that I was really hyped for because I've been a fan for this series for about a year now, ever since I did Born-a-thon, and I was a co-host for it. So that was like for the Born season series by Samantha Shannon. So the new one, The Masked Bowden, is coming out in January 2021, and I did manage to get a proof of it. So yeah, this is The Masked Bowden, Samantha Shannon. Comes out, well, it says February 2021, but I believe it's end of January. And bloggers could request this, and I requested it not knowing if I would actually get it or not, but fortunately they did. They sent it my way, so thank you so much. The Born season series is set in a world where clairvoyants exist, and our main protagonist, Paige, she is a clairvoyant. clairvoyant, but it's outlawed. You're not allowed to be clairvoyant. So Paige ends up getting caught and sent to a really bad place. But it's a whole series, and I'm rubbish at explaining it because it's quite a big concept. So onto the book box subscriptions then. I got HolloPox, The Hunt for Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend in my HolloPox OwlCrate Jr Special Editions box. What a box that is. I dressed up as both Morgan and Jupiter North in that unboxing. I love that unboxing so much. It's one of my personal favourites. But that was a great box. This is a great read as well. This is the third book in the Nevermore series, which follows a young girl called Morgan, and she's a cursed child. She's doomed to die on her 12th birthday. And ends up getting pushed forward a year, and she ends up getting swept away to the land of Nevermore by Jupiter North to save her life. But Nevermore is a magical place with magical people, and Morgan has to prove herself as being worthy, as being part of this society. And this is the third book. A pandemic goes off in this one that affects the Wunimals. Great timing, of course. But actually, I read this and it really helped me escape the world for a bit, and it was just beautifully told. Amazing, incredible story. I love the series with my whole heart. And again, the OwlCrate Jr box for this was incredible, so thank you so much. In this standard regular OwlCrate Jr book box, I got The Barren Grounds by David A. Robertson, which is book 1 of the Mesua saga. This one follows 2 Indigenous children who are forced away from their families and end up living together in an orphanage in Winnipeg. But whilst there, they discover a portal into another world, and it sets off this incredible series. So this is just book 1, so I'm excited to see where the rest of this goes, and of course I really want to read this one. OwlCrate Jr bring out the best of the middle grades, so looking forward to reading it. OwlCrate had The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.A. Schwab in it. This is my second copy of this book now, but this has beautiful black grey sprayed edges, and it's a stunning book. And this one follows Addie, who ends up kind of making a deal with the devil so that whenever somebody meets her, they'll end up forgetting her straight away. But about 300 years later, I think it's about 300 years, she meets a man who ends up remembering her, and yeah, whoopee! I keep putting this on my TBR and it's just never like worked out, but I will be really needing to read this because I just really want to read it. And I've got 2 copies of it now, so it's just gotta happen, hasn't it? And finally, of the book boxes, Fairy Loot had Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerry Maniscalco, and this has these beautiful stenciled like sprayed edge there, and I've never had anything like this before, in black on the top and bottom. But this one follows Amelia, who wants to avenge her sister's murder and calls upon a very dark magic in order to enact her vengeance. It just sounds wicked. It sounds wicked. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one. So onto the books that I bought. Again, not very many left on this list now, but I did get The Stormkeeper's Island and The Lost Tide Warriors by Catherine Doyle. And I got these because I did an interview with Catherine Doyle on my channel. Do check that out. I mainly talked about The Miracle on Ebenezer Street, but I also talk about this series for a little bit as well. The Stormkeeper's Island series is set on Arranmore Island, and Arranmore Island is a place where kind of magic is there, and it's a power, and there is a stormkeeper who is assigned to kind of wield that power on the island. And this one follows Fionn, and his grandfather is a stormkeeper, but it's time for him to step down. It's a great fantasy series, and I cannot wait to read the second one, The Lost Tide Warriors, and the third one, the final one, comes out in March. So 2 books I picked up because I'm doing an event with these authors on Thursday. It's an official Waterstones event, so I will leave a link for that down below. Do check it out. It's £5 a ticket, but it is a proper event. It's my first ever proper event, and I'm so excited and so nervous, but so excited. It is an interview with Kieran Mulvey-Hargrave, Sophie Anderson, and Lucy Strange, and I'm hosting it, and oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait. But also, again, I'm rather nervous. Anyway, I didn't have The Island at the End of Everything by Kieran Mulvey-Hargrave or The Secret of Nightingale Wood by Lucy Strange, so I thought I'd better pick these 2 up because these were the last 2 books that I needed from those authors. This one follows Amy, and her mother is sick, and she lives on this gorgeous island, but then one day this really horrible government official comes and he is awful. Amy is then banished to an orphanage off the island, and she tries to find her way back. So The Secret of Nightingale Wood by Lucy Strange as well. I love this cover. It just looks so wintry. So this one follows a girl called Henry, and she lives in Hope House. yeah, Hope House, and it's full of strange things that are going on. There are ghostly figures, but there's also a strange light going into Nightingale Wood. So she ends up venturing into Nightingale Wood one night, and who knows what happens next. I'm going to read this as soon as possible. It looks amazing. I can't wait. Both of these look amazing, and I'm still scared for the event, but so excited. One that I'm reading this month because it was on my Play TBR, is The Marvelous Land of Snurgs. It's an original story by A.A. Wicksmith, and this is translated by Veronica Cosentelli, also illustrated by Melissa Castrillion. And this one is the story that inspired The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. So this one follows Pip and Flora, and they end up going to the Marvelous Land of Snurgs, and they are, well, the Snurgs are these woodland creatures. Can't wait to see what book inspired The Hobbit and the whole Middle-earth series in general, since that's where The Hobbit began, right? Wasn't The Hobbit the first one in the Middle-earth series that he wrote, I think? I'm not too sure, actually, on that fact. I might be wrong. It sounds like this is quite an important book, so can't wait to read it, and I love the illustrations in it. It's huge writing as well. It's actually bigger writing than I thought it would be, so it'll not take long to get through this. So I can't tell if this is young adult or adult, but I also got The Once and Future Witches by Alex A. Harrow, and they are the author of The 10,000 Doors of January, which I haven't read. But I picked this one up because I've been saying it around on BookTube lately, and I love anything to do with witches. This one is set in 1893, and it follows the Eastwood sisters. They join the suffragettes of New Salem in the hopes that they can turn their forgotten words into a movement for witches that aligns with the women's movement, and I love the look of it. I'm sure there's like way more to this book as well, so can't wait to dive into it and discover it. It looks like, it says that it's a powerful and moving tale of sisterhood and suffrage in New Salem, so it's just going to be great. I cannot wait. I also picked up this beautiful edition of Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the last name there, but it's the cult classic that inspired Dracula. It's very short, but it has this beautiful hardback cover with the very reflective red. Now this is the original vampire novel, way before Dracula, and I believe this one follows Laura, who lives in the middle of the forest with her ailing father, and one night Carmilla ends up crashing through to the house, and they end up striking a friendship. Don't know what happens after that, or if that's the full story. I don't think it's the full story, but it sounds like there's just going to be more to it, and can't wait to discover what that is. Sounds very gothic classic. Love myself a gothic classic. The last two books now were very exciting pre-orders, and one of them is Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. This is the Waterstones edition with the blue sprayed edges, and it's signed, and this one is the sequel to Ready Player 1, which is set in a world where there is the Oasis, and the Oasis is a virtual reality that people escape into, including our main protagonist Wade. And in the first one there was like this quest to find 3 different things to unlock a secret part of the world that the creator had left, and whoever unlocked it would inherit it, and that's what the whole goal of the first one. No idea what this one's about, but if it's going to be anything like the first one, I think I'm going to love it. And I've been avoiding reviews. I don't want to say a bad review of this before I read it, so I'm reading it this month, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And the last book is The Betrayals by Bridget Collins. This is signed by the author, pink sprayed edges, Waterstones exclusive, and this one has such a strange plot that I can't really wrap my head around it and can't really explain it. But trying to explain this one, I genuinely can't. It's something about like a chess game or something like that. So there's like an exclusive academy that people are trained for this specific contest. That's genuinely all I know about it. I believe the main character was disgraced one year, I think. I can't wait to read it though. I really did enjoy The Binding by Bridget Collins. I thought that was really good. I gave it 4 stars. But I should have read this one by now because I did get the proof of it. Anyway, I can't wait to read it. I think it's going to be fab. But hopefully not like the Starless Sea, because that one I just could not understand. So there we have it. Those were all of the books that I hold in November. Again, thank you so much to everybody who sent me a book. You genuinely didn't have to. And also thank you to all the publishers who sent me stuff as well. Like seriously, you guys are the best. But anyway, yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave a like if you do, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment, let me know if you're excited to read any of these yourself. If you've read them, hype me up for them, unless it's a negative review. Maybe don't go too hard on the negatives. Let me know if you didn't like it, but like, don't tell me too much why. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!